Hey yo, it's boy Amiri, put you in a headlock. Not letting you go till you click that like and subscribe button because your boy the Fresh Prince of Zamunda, your chat boat. So today, you see the thumbnail, you see the title. It's part 2, you get me, of this documentary. It's about the scamming, the £1 billion scam. You get me, the $1 billion scam, sorry. So the first part, we kind of, touched the surface and looked a little bit in time. You know what I'm saying? But we're trying to finish it off, So King, drop it for me. Ready. All right, so I remember where we at. So basically where we're at is, she's talking about the Bitcoin wallet, How Bitcoin works is that it's a cryptocurrency, which means that it's not a real currency, it's a cryptocurrency. Well, it is a real currency, but in the sense of it's not held in your hand. Well, actually, it is held in your hand. It's an online currency, yeah, with a certain amount of coins, which creates a scarcity, which makes the Bitcoin valuable, okay? And how it works is that every time you do a transaction with Bitcoin, it leaves a footprint on the open market, on the open sphere. So you could actually track where people's putting their Bitcoins. But because these guys are so crafty with it, they just dashing it here, there, boom, put it this one, put it in that one, take it out, that one, put it on this one, put it that one, put it that one. And that she's spent so much time tracking it that she's got them down to these few Bitcoins, wallets. So this is where we're at, all right? Let's see.
On my Coinevo money, joining a money route from EverFX. Here.
All right, let's go back a little bit.
But mapping this network is useful because it shows these brands are linked. We saw my Coinevo money joining a money route from EverFX. Here. Before continuing through to the rest of the network.
So this is a trade that I opened, and I'm not doing so well. I'm kind of in the red.
I've been trying to contact Coinevo, but have heard nothing back. Perhaps they know who I really am, or are only interested in people who've invested more. Antoine still doesn't get back to me, so I decide to cut my losses and withdraw my money. Then I get this email. Hi, Jenny. The passport you've sent us is a fake. I assume you know this. So go yourself, pretty please, with sugar on top. Despite chasing, I never got back the money that was still in the account.
Yo. She got put in her place, boy. Lucky it was only $5.
So how can we find out who's behind these crimes? When Alex, the undercover mole, worked
follow the money
for Milton, he recorded their 2020 New Year's Eve party with a secret camera in his watch. Are there clues here about who the Milton Group masterminds are? The audio reveals a man called David who was crowned the father of Milton. When I worked on the first investigation, we identified this David as Georgian national David Todua. To simplify the complex connections in this network, we're going to give him a nickname.
Bro, man said the hidden camera was in his watch. Trust nobody.
Mr. Orange. These are photos from his now deleted Instagram feed, showing him at the party with other senior figures of the Milton Group.
That's like the American gangster thing, boy. It's always something that gets you caught. That one thing, bro.
Him posing with guns.
Bust a fire. Bust a shot.
So where does Mr. Orange fit into
Shell it. Chop, chop.
Wider Milton organization? 2 years after the party, he has an office in a new call center in Kyiv, selling EverFX and other Milton brands.
He's in the right place, boy.
Ukraine is clearly important for their whole operation.
Because one of the most corrupt nations in Europe.
But they, like everyone else, were about to get a shock. Ukraine was invaded, and Alex, keeping an eye on scammers from his hiding place, was seeing evidence online that call center staff were fleeing the war. One place he's seen job adverts is in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. I've come to the capital Tbilisi to meet local investigative reporter Nino Bakradze.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? So, Nino, we've come to Georgia because we think that this has become one of the hubs of the companies behind the call centers.
Are you sure it's like a current information?
We have an insider who thinks that they're getting people in Ukraine to relocate to Georgia.
A few months ago, there was a big scandal related to the call centers, and the prosecutor office shut down several offices. But since then, we know that the area is clean and the call centers moved away from the country. There was an investigative story. You can see
I know who that is.
this one.
Yes, I know who this guy is. His name is Mikhail Benimini.
I've investigated him before. Benimini was charged in Israel with tax evasion, but never showed up for his trial.
I think that we need to investigate for ourselves.
There's no way she just pulled out a random picture and said, yeah, I know that guy. That is so fake, bro, for the TV, bro. I could just tell. Okay, woman.
Our own research shows that Mikhail Benimini, let's call him Mr. Red, registered an early Milton brand, Cap MB. So this suggests that he's been involved for a long time. I'm curious, but it doesn't take Nino long to come back with more.
Nice to see you again.
She's found evidence of a call center, and it's active.
You were right.
It's called MG Capital.
MG Capital, the company founded by Josip Mgeladze 4 years ago. I found his ID scan and his email address in the business registry. And I have a contract of rental agreement, which is signed by Josip Mgeladze, and he signed the rental agreement in 2019. We identified Josip Mgeladze's profile on Facebook.
So you gotta watch their Facebooks and thing, you know.
Then we found out the people on the photos. So we found out a person who worked at the call center, and we persuaded her to talk to you.
We met the young woman who'd worked at MG Capital in central Tbilisi. She doesn't want to talk on camera, so we're not showing her face and have changed her voice.
Bullshit.
Even now, it is really hard for students to find a new job with a good salary. When I started this job, I didn't know what we were doing in reality. I thought we really were helping people, but when I to understand what really was going on, I really felt bad for those people who got scammed.
Ivana was
What did they do? Torture her or something?
able to choose a fake, English-sounding name and never reveal that she was calling from Georgia. She was selling a Milton brand.
It felt really good that I could get out of there before I could do something bad to someone.
But who is Joseph Mgeladze, our Mr. Green?
My girl gave them names like it's Cluedo.
Can his other business links tell us anything about this network? We already know that he founded and used to own MG Capital, which seems to have sold Milton brands. But Mr. Green also founded this company. Its directors have included two men who seem connected to the network. This guy, Mr. Blue, owned a company called Naspay, which has provided tech to the Milton Group brands, a company that he sold to Mr. Orange, the gun-loving David Todua. And together with Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue is senior in EverFX, as well as other crucial Milton tech companies. And finally, some of these key companies operated from the same building that housed Mr. Orange's new office in Kyiv. This is all looking very cozy.
How the hell did she find out all that information? And the police couldn't find out that information. I need to go back and watch that, bro. She broke that shit down.
His other business links tell us anything about this network. We already know that he founded and used to own MG Capital, which seems to have sold Milton Brand.
Right. MG Capital sold Milton Brand.
But Mr. Green also founded this company.
So he also founded another company.
Its directors have included two men who seem connected to
Who the directors are.
network. This guy, Mr. Blue, owned a company called NASPay, which has provided tech to
So he owned the other company that provided services for Mr. Green, yeah?
Milton Group Brand,
Or he was just their director?
a company that he sold to Mr. Orange,
Oh, so
the gun-loving David Todua.
these lot are in some spider web of show.
And together with Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue is senior in EverFX, as well as other crucial Milton tech companies. And finally, some of these key companies operated from the same building that housed Mr. Orange's new office in Kyiv. This is all looking very cozy.
It is looking cozy indeed.
The offshore world is opaque, with some people spending a fortune deliberately muddying
Very opaque.
the waters of their operations. But they can't be sure that the past
What did she say?
muddying the waters of their operations is opaque, with some people spending a fortune deliberately muddying the waters of their operations. But they can't be sure that the past will stay buried forever.
As the world wakes up to the revelations of the Panama Papers, we'll ask why.
Back in 2016, millions of documents that were meant to be confidential were leaked. They revealed the true owners and inner workings of directors of hundreds of offshore companies.
I remember that. I actually remember that. I swear, like, was it David Cameron's dad that was in one of them? The Prime Minister of UK. His dad was in one of them papers, the tax dodging.
They were called the Panama Papers. So let's go back in time and see what the leak can tell us about our people of interest. Four of them are there. They have a history together and appear to be running a network of non-Milton companies across the globe. But many of these companies have something in common. They're linked to an office block in Tbilisi called the Pixel Building. The paper trail ends here. Throughout all of our Panama Papers investigations, we've analyzed thousands of offshore documents.
Told you.
And one person appears to have founded or registered many of these early non-Milton companies,
Who's the big man?
Mr. David Kezrashvili. But who is this Mr. Kezrashvili? He's a former Georgian politician. He was defense minister during the war against the Russians in 2008. When he left office, he started his business career. Based in London, he can't return to Georgia as he was found
Right, based here in the UK, where they harbor a lot of criminals.
guilty of corruption in what he claims is a politically motivated case. Accepting this, the British courts refused to extradite him.
What did I tell you?
In Georgia, he's remembered by some as Mr. Offshore, and the leaked non-Milton Company data shows he sat at the center of this network of offshore companies. Our men were given
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 12 companies in there, bro.
senior positions in these companies, which Mr. Kezrashvili registered all over the world. Multiple roads seem to lead to him.
It's crazy.
We've been invited back here by Europol, who have zeroed in on some of the same people as us, and now we're joining them on call center raids.
Lies. It just sounds too, staged.
Simultaneous actions are taking place in Ukraine, Albania, and North Macedonia.
We have no idea where we're going. We were told to follow the car in front of us.
See?
The last time they did a raid like this, the bosses of the call center were tipped off. So everything depends on secrecy. We've driven into this parking garage, and the German and Georgian police are coordinating their actions. The prosecutors have just walked in, but he told us that the place has already been secured. Would you like to speak to us about what happened here?
I can't understand it.
You don't understand anything I'm saying, even though you just responded to me in perfect.
Hey, hang tight, top tight security in the world, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Oh no. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, this is a mad thing. So they just run up in the building and them man are just waiting there for them.
English. Did you know that this was allegedly a scam?
I'm not wishing you to take this video right now, and I'm not responding on your questions.
What was the brand that you were selling here?
Someone's gonna snitch.
We are quite happy with the situation right now as far as we can examine all the materials and the people. We see some evidences, clear evidences for a German desk as far as the German market is targeted. And obviously we see quite good hints to such an activity here.
Right now, there are 30 raids across Georgia. In the center of Tbilisi, they're hitting a company we already know, MG Capital.
These screens are really interesting. Here you have a back office of a brand called Eco Sales, and you have the names of people that they were calling to get money from them. And here you have 4 British names here. So you can see that this is just a call center that was allegedly scamming people all over the world. And let's see if we can see how much money they got from various people.
Looking through our footage afterwards, I found a note. No liabilities, wants to buy a property, not discussing number, but has savings. Savings less than 10K, very should scam soon. For the German prosecutors, this has been 4 years in the planning, and now they've...
Wait, what? No way.
Less than 10K, they're
No
not
way.
discussing number, but has savings. Savings less than 10K, very should scam soon. For the German prosecutors, this has been 4 years in the planning, and now they've time to reflect.
We know that, of course, for example, the FCA in Great Britain say scams are the biggest threat for private investors. But on the other hand, we see due to...
Who said that? Wait, let me go back to that. What did he say?
We know that, of course, for example, the FCA in Great Britain say scams are the biggest threat for private investors.
I said at the start of this video that 90% or 95% or 99% or something dumb like that of people lose their money on the stock market. 99%. And they're trying to say scam is the biggest reason why, biggest threat. Not your corrupt blood clot system. That's not the threat. That's not a threat.
But on the other hand, we see due to our...
Only we could rob you. Only we could rob you. We are the ones that could rob you. No one else could rob you. Bro, shut up,
our
man.
Investigations in the last years, that there are also some positive effects, that the perpetrators are more careful and at least do not target the German market as much as they did maybe 2 or 3 years ago. The overall damage is still in the hundreds of millions. Probably we can talk about billions. Not only in Germany, but all over the world.
We noticed a lot of British victims on the computer screens in the call center. If you ended your investigation, where would that leave them?
We have to be realistic. We can't save the world. It's already pretty hard work to save the German market. There should be some kind of law enforcement in Great Britain, as far as I know, so that's their main responsibility. And to see it from a legal perspective, it's not in our jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction.
The raids led the news in Georgia. Migueladze is our Mr. Green. He gave a press conference after one of the scam brands was raided in an office he owns.
He says that his company rents out the spaces and the offices to other companies, but he doesn't know what the company who rents the office really does.
So wait, he's saying that he was
Lies.
just renting space to another
Allegedly.
call center. But he owns MG Capital.
Yes, we know that he founded the MG Capital. And also he mentions that he was a business partner of David Kezerashvili.
So we know that the links between these men go way back, thanks to the Panama Papers leak. Then, the pattern was that Kezerashvili was the link between our men. But if the real links were confidential before, might they be confidential again? So fast forward to the present. The men all seem to have been key figures in the Milton Group, running or owning tech companies and or the scam brand EverFX. But does Kezerashvili fit in now? Well, he's not really on the paperwork. This is what we can see. He's connected to this company, which used to own EverFX. Through his venture capital firm, he owned the branding and website for this tech company, which built the trading platform and website of EverFX.
Yo, this is how rich people get away with murder, bruv. Let's see.
FX. But does Kezerashvili fit in now? Well, he's not really on the paperwork. This is what we can see. He's connected to this company, which used to own EverFX.
So he's connected to the company that used to own the other company.
Through his
Okay.
venture capital firm,
He has a venture capital firm
he owned the branding and website for this
who owns the branding and website for
company,
that company,
which built the trading platform
which made the trading platform
and website of EverFX.
and the website for the
The
for this
email
thing.
servers for his personal companies were held on the same private servers as those for EverFX, Axios, and New Age. He owns the building in Kyiv where the original call center was moved to in 2020 and where they sold EverFX, and where Mr. Orange had an office where many of these companies were housed, and which was raided in the Europol action in Ukraine. And this gives us a hint of Kezerashvili's social circle. At a wedding in 2018, he was pictured with Mr. Orange and Mr. Red, as well as other key Milton figures. He also has interesting social media connections.
Bruh.
Kezerashvili regularly likes and shares Facebook and LinkedIn posts from several tech groups, as well as from EverFX and its successor Axions.
Yo, you see how they're trying to go into the details with that, bruv? That is mad, bruv. Man, go to your Facebook, check your pictures out, see man them are doing a mad thing in there and say, listen, him, and him, they're all connected, yeah? Them and are all connected. And whoever we don't find, we're gonna see what you like, what your likes are. Oh, you like that one and that one and that one. Oh, let's see what's my man doing. Okay, so he's owned by that. You see how this thing crumbles.
Kezerashvili regularly likes and shares Facebook and LinkedIn posts from several tech groups.
Tell me why man them on the block is like, yo, Wagwan G, I beg you send me 2 in the queue. Like, look what them man are doing, bro.
As well as from EverFX and its successor Axions. And his Facebook friends have included at least 45 other people linked to some of these companies.
Bruh.
And of course,
45. That's to tell you how much man is running this thing, bruv.
he's also Facebook friends with Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, and Mr. Orange. And Mr. Red, well, that's his cousin. We went to Mr. Kezerashvili's 18 million pound house in London to see if he could answer these questions about his role.
Hi. I'm a journalist. I'd like to speak with David Kezerashvili. Is he available? He's not available? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
He wouldn't talk to us, but his lawyers make clear that Mr. Kezerashvili strongly denies any involvement with Milton or that he gained financially from scams. He says that EverFX was, to his knowledge, a legitimate business, and that connections we have found to the people and IT behind it prove nothing.
Bruh.
Mr. Chalidze and Mr. Gogashvili strongly deny our allegations, saying that EverFX is a legitimate, regulated platform. They deny knowledge of Milton or any connection between EverFX and the brands we identified, who they suggest have misused its source code and brand to confuse users. They say EverFX has never had a crypto wallet and has no control over how its third-party payment processors direct funds.
Bro, it's either them and are too dumb or them and are too smart, bruv.
Megalazzi said, I completely deny these allegations. I am not involved in any way with Milton. I have never owned call centres or any other businesses engaged in mis-selling financial products.
Neither Mr. Benimini nor Mr. Todua responded to our questions.
Yeah, can you prove it though? Can you prove it though that they were doing that?
EverFX denied our allegations, saying that they are a legitimate and regulated platform where risks are fully explained. They investigated Barry's case and found he was responsible for his losses. In our anonymous case, they told us her losses were as a result of her moving to an unconnected company, and that they fully cooperated with the FCA. The investigation Alex and I started has culminated in police raids on Milton offices across 5 countries, closing down 15 call centers.
For how long though?
But only 5 suspects were arrested in those countries, all just employees.
See what I'm saying, bro? There's a difference between how they do things and how man them do the things. You get me? I don't even know that was English. But yeah, there's a way how they do their thing and how men them do their thing. You hear how they say only 5 people and they're just workers, bruv. Like the top man and that.
Bro, I have no knowledge of I have no knowledge of call centers. I have no knowledge of my nephew or my cousin who what he does inside of the building. Or the cousins, I have no knowledge of this brand or this name. I have no knowledge of don't know where it came from. I'm just a £28 million house for no reason. I don't know where that money came from. I just don't know. I just pay my taxes. I'm fully funded and I'm regulated by the regulator of the FBC, of the FDATA, of the FDR.
Bro, what is this, bro? It's £1 billion enough. If they find that, do you know how much man bro, like how much man, like all the collection of man that you stopped and calculated their money up, the £1 billion there, that's one job, bro. You had one job to do.
Which is little consolation to the victims of Milton.
I feel completely embarrassed at how well I was fooled. I just don't want my friends to know how stupid I've been. I've always worked really hard for everything I've earned in my...
Listen, if a financial company called you to take one of their financial services or take one of their packages, that means you were willing to invest in the first place on the stock market, which means that 97% of you lot was going to lose money anyway. You know what I mean? It's like this country is, bro, the exaggeration from some people is too much, bro. You go like that to them and they're suicidal now, you know? It's like, bruv, relax, yeah? Relax.
Losing $30,000 to a bunch of scammers.
And you know you're from England, so why are you saying dollars, $30,000? Because you know that £26,000 don't sound the same, does it?
Absolutely devastated by it. I just don't feel that I could confidently trust anybody again.
Why?
It's taken us well over a year to uncover the identities of some of the biggest players we believe are involved in this $1 billion scam. Wading through this complex and sophisticated tangle of shell companies, digital evidence, and crypto wallets, we felt able to name them for the first time.
Okay.
Since the raids, Alex has been tracking Milton's crypto wallets.
Mm-hmm.
So their volume is lower.
The volume is lower.
So that means the raids have had a big impact.
Yes, I think it is, because we see a very significant decrease in the turnover.
Good for victims.
Good for victims.
What? So you're happy now?
So the raids did have an impact. But our recent analysis suggests the scams are picking up again, now at nearly 85% of what they were.
Wait, what? You're celebrating that they're 85% of what they were? Get out of here, man.
So can this $1 billion scam ever be stopped?
Oh, they only got 850 million this time.
Like, what?
The money that flows from these kind of crimes through the offshore world into the pockets of a small number of people is so attractive and so corrupting that it's incredibly hard for any society and any political system to conjure up the wherewithal to stop it.
That's right. Because they probably getting their hands greased as well. But I already told you about the Prime Minister's pops himself was on them papers. I'm not sure if it was the Panama one or was the other one. I can't remember what was the other one called. But yeah, yeah.
After the raids, we're not aware of any prosecutions of any of the people we've identified. But Alex and I are not about to give up.
Aren't you? Yeah, if you want to watch that again, go on the BBC's website and watch that. You know, that was actually interesting. It was more educational than investigatory. Wait, what? Investigatory. Whatever, man. You know what I mean, man. It wasn't that kind of. You know what I'm saying? That was more like a lot of setups and a lot of layups and a lot of fluff talking and a lot of I'm gonna get you one day. We don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Our police have time to go to the Encro, that's what it's called, Encro phone and lock up, you know what I'm saying, ninjas and, you know what I'm saying, that's shotting an ounce on the block. But yeah, man, if you like that, you know what I'm saying, you know who I be, the freshest prince of Zamunda, you know what I'm saying, and I'm here with my top producer, King, you know what we do, and just like this, you can't make this up, bro. I wouldn't like it any other way, any other producer, you get me, that's how I want it, you know what I'm saying, it just works together like, but yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell, it's your boy Zamunda, I'm out. Bow!